Relationships Are Us. Your host, relationship guru, aka Big Goo, and D Love Jones are here to create a positive and encouraging environment with the science of happiness and understanding with tangible conversations with an emphasis on long-lasting relationships. It's Relationships Are Us. Be sure to like and subscribe to Relationships Are Us. Are Us. Are Us.
D Love Jones, D Love Jones, D Love Jones. It's been a great minute. They would say. How you been?
Listen, listen, I've been great. Honestly, I mean, I hate that we have to have a hiatus, but sometimes, you gotta recharge, regroup, and get refreshed.
Right. So
So,
word on the street is that you've been treating yourself. You've been loving yourself. You've been having a little self care moment going on.
I mean, honestly, as per usual, you know, I've been, treating myself good as I should, basically. What
Right.
about you, Big Good? What you been doing?
Hey man, man, I've been, I would say the same. I've been doing a lot of, you know, I wouldn't say self care, but a lot of self checking. I've
Okay.
been
What does a
doing a
self
lot.
check look like?
A self check look like when you wake up and you realize, or you try to say, you know what, no matter what's going on or who did it or how it got done, what was my part? People tend to say, I wasn't successful at something because this happened or that person did this. If they wouldn't have did this or this wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
No, you have to be accountable for your own actions. You have to be accountable for you. And so I just been in the state of mind of self checking and being and just trying to be more accountable for my own actions.
Mm. I love accountability. I love the word. I love when people use it. I love when people identify areas that the roles that they played and everything. Because I think the first thing you should do in any situation is say, okay, this is my life. This is my situation. While even if other people are involved, it's from your perspective. So let me do a self evaluation. Nothing
Right.
is wrong with a self check and a self evaluation. I love it. Um,
Yeah.
the one thing that is interesting is that um, when you do these self checks, sometimes you be looking in the mirror like, damn, I thought I was perfect. And here
Yeah.
I am.
Right. Because sometimes people tell you stuff about you
Hmm.
that you don't necessarily want to accept. And sometimes you see, it's this old little thing that you can't see the label on the jar from the inside. You can't see yourself from the inside. Sometimes people have to tell you their perception of you or how you making them feel. And even though if you don't want to believe it or if you don't want to accept it, that's the thing. You may not want to believe it, but not accepting it can cause a problem. Um,
Hmm.
because the contrary or not, if somebody said that you stink, well, you may feel like you may not stink, but you may do have an odor that they may not be familiar with. It could be Ivory Fresh. They may not be used to the soap that you use, but they may label it as stinky, but it could be, but it just was a different odor for them. But it doesn't mean
Hmm.
so. Needless to say, there is an odor now. What they liking for it is their opinion, but there is an odor you can be
Hmm.
smelled. So so that's when I say, so when somebody tell you something about you, you may not agree with exactly what it is, but it's still some truth to it, and that's cause for you to have to go and self check and look at yourself in the mirror.
You know what? I definitely agree with that. The one thing I will say though is I have had friends who overly accept responsibility for their actions, and especially in the midst of like relationships. Like I've had friends come to me with situations where I feel like they're telling me the story. I'm like, this the other person clearly sounds like the wrong one to me, but I'm not giving any opinion. And then they've convinced themselves that because I did X, Y, and Z, it caused this person to do X, Y, and Z. And I don't think that that's always a good assessment of like, while you should accept full accountability of the role that you played, the role that you play does not mean that it excuses someone else's behavior and vice versa. Like
Right.
we're still all accountable for our own behavior. And we're still all accountable for our reactions and the things that we do.
Okay. So since this is a show about healing and getting to the point, so now I don't want you to give me an example of who your friend was or what they went through in
Hmm.
particular, but what's
Right.
an example? But what's an example of a reaction for a reaction that's not just cause you saying cause it sounds like I heard you say, hey, maybe they taking accountability, saying, hey, you know what I did, because cause you seen it in movies, you see it all the time. You know, if I wouldn't have burnt that toast, he wouldn't have beat me in the way that he beat me. Like things like that nature. I have seen women, battered women, will say the
Hmm.
darndest things. You know what I mean? Like, they do take accountability for, the way people treat them. Well, maybe if I wouldn't have, you know, waste something on the floor, he wouldn't have been so angry and such. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe I cussed him out, and that's the reason why he been so mean to me and whatnot. Like, but
Hmm.
at what point does your action, you know, gets a response that's not justified? At what point is so? That's what I'm saying. Give me an
I
example.
mean, I will give you a perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example. And this is something that I find that happens often is somebody saying, my spouse isn't giving me what I want or what I need, or they're not
Mm,
accommodating me based on my love language. So I started an emotional relationship with someone else, or I started a physical relationship with someone else, vice versa, right? Or, so I feel like we're all being in relationships is always optional, right?
right,
Sometimes we weigh the pros and the cons, and sometimes, even though 9 out of the 10 things that we get from this person are harmful to us, that 1 out of 10 is what we hold on to, right?
right,
So we can identify all of these negative things that are going on in a relationship, but we stay because of that one thing that is keeping us. And so as a result, we're making excuses, or we are, what I'm saying, accepting all of these other things, or we're saying that, oh, I'm staying in this, even though I'm seeing somebody else on the side, it's not enough for me to walk away from this relationship because of that one thing.
right. So now here we go. Now you done started this thing off. So here we go. So now we got a person. We don't. I'm not doing gender, male or woman, but we got a person that don't feel like they getting what they need in a relationship, even emotionally or whatever. So they
Hmm.
just started a sidebar relationship with someone to get what they need. And they say the reason why they started the relationship is because they wasn't getting what they need. So now when the person finds out about it, that's hurt. Then they come back and inflict some hurt on them. Then someone's gonna tell the
Hmm.
person, "Hey, you deserve better than that. That person shouldn't have been hurting you like that. They shouldn't." Know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? If they, what I'm saying, oh, okay, yeah, I understand you were cheating, but they didn't have to do you like that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You don't get the
It's
chance.
still always that reaction that is being excused. Like, so when you think about, accountability shouldn't, that doesn't mean, okay, this person is accountable for how they treated me, so as a result I'm not accountable for how I've responded to their treatment. No, you're both accountable. Like you're both of your actions that were not conducive to producing a healthy, loving relationship, or you are acting in response of X, Y, and Z, still could be considered a negative, contributing negatively to your relationship.
So I think if you're a cheater, you're a born cheater. You want
No,
you don't think you're
mm-mm.
born you don't think you're born cheater.
I
So
think some people cheat habitually, right? And that's where it like some people never have the intention on being faithful. And they get into whole relationships and marriages with no intention on being faithful.
mm,
But
so
there are also situations that arise where people, I mean, it's just like you can't say anybody that's a cheater is a born cheater because then you wouldn't have temptation, right? And temptation is a powerful thing that many of really great people have succumbed to
hey, I
in
read
times
something
of
today.
weakness.
Yeah, well, I read something today. Men only cheat with where they find peace at. The only reason your man cheating is because he was trying to find peace.
Hmm. And so then it goes back to accountability. Do you feel like it's acceptable? It's ever acceptable to do the wrong thing in a relationship because you're lacking something? No.
No, I don't think it's wrong.
He's
No,
cheating. He's cheating because he chooses to.
he cheating
Because he
because
could
it's
very
in him.
well say, I'm not, he could very well say, I'm not finding peace in this relationship. So I'm going to end it and go where I can find peace.
Or he can say, I'm not finding peace in this relationship and go write him a book and find him something constructive to do with his time and get somewhere and get quiet and let the Lord talk to him and learn how to be obedient and see if he's being instructed to leave that relationship or if he's being instructed to step his game up and do what he needs to do to maintain and manage his relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. But what I'm just saying, as far as like you have other choices, like your choice, like your relationship is optional. All relationships are optional. Whether you drawn to a person, whether you love a person, sometimes you're gonna have to sacrifice for the greater good. What,
Okay.
Big Goo, Big Goo, you can't be yawning. You
Hey,
supposed to be a
man.
young whippersnapper over there.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to figure out what you think. Are you saying that it's optional? And
Every
I'm saying,
relationship is optional. So whether you saying you eat no matter what, you do not have to be in a relationship. Even if you seeking God and you sitting down somewhere, and is the relationship is still optional.
okay, you say so.
It's still optional.
So what about your ordered steps? Are your steps that God ordered you? Are they optional?
Mhm. Yes, they're optional.
The steps that God say, hey, this is the
Believing
way
in
I want
God,
you to go.
believing in God is optional. Following God is optional. Reading your word is optional. All of those things are optional. You choose to do them. You might be drawn to that relationship with God, but it's still an option. God gives us all a choice.
Oh yeah.
So at the end of the day, you can't. I'm stating is a fact, which is that relationships are optional. Nobody is,
Okay.
even if you feel compelled to stay in that relationship because of your religious beliefs and so forth and so on, it's still an option for you to leave. Or it's an option for you to take a break until you can get to a place where the relationship is manageable. So that's all I'm saying is that you
Break
can't
safe.
use you can't excuse your behavior in a relationship that is optional. That's all I'm saying. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
I get it. I get the point that you're trying to make. I get that point. But yeah, but I wouldn't be good if I didn't challenge the point. I wouldn't be trying, cause a debate is for to bring out all the facts. Debate is not
Hmm.
to be at war. Debate is to bring
Absolutely.
all. A debate is to bring all the facts to the table so everybody can make a informed decision about what's
Hmm.
going on or what's being presented.
Hmm.
However, I know you got a couple of things that that we got to discuss, but I had wanted to uh, um, throw some stuff out there. I wanted to throw some stuff out there at you to see how you was gonna respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, and I was looking. So I had did a little research. I've been being big goo, so I
You
ran
been
across
being
some
big
stuff.
goo?
I've been being big goo. So what I'm saying. I've been saving. What I'm saying. Hey, find a date, find a mate. Let's make love great again.
Mm-hmm.
So and I came across some things, and what I'm saying, and I ran, and I came across some readings, and in some of my readings, it says some women are unknowingly looking for wives. Yeah, you heard me correctly. It's some
Mm-hmm.
women are unknowingly looking for wives. And why would Big Goose say
Mm-hmm.
a thing like that? Because so many women believe that they want a masculine husband, but in reality, they want a submissive partner who will assist them in getting to their goal. They
Mm-hmm.
want someone who will go along with the program that they already got in place. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they want someone who will accommodate their lifestyle that they created for themselves. They want to
Mm-hmm.
be in charge and have the final say in all of the decision making. They want to be respected for the financial provision they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
The dilemma is the type of men who will do that for them type of women are normally the ones that she cannot respect. What you say?
Mm.
What you say, D. Love Jones?
Shoot, a lot of what you said was me. So listen, send me that bulleted list so I can just look at it again. But no, no, no. Real talk, real talk. Let me tell you. Um, the world is evolving, and traditional gender roles don't always fit into that evolution. And I'm not saying that, like, I definitely am only attracted to masculine men. But as I get older, I realize that that masculinity comes at a cost, right? Because I've developed into this strong, independent woman as a result of, I mean, like, I've always been independent, and I'm not like touting like independent, like, I don't need a man, da 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 da. But like, as I've gotten older and as I've become more self sufficient and as I become more educated and accomplish more things, it becomes more and more difficult for me to look at a relationship from a traditional, this is how a man is, this is how a woman is, because I don't even fit the mold of a gender stereotype. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
even as loving and submissive as I can be, it only goes so far because I'm still very ambitious and I still have accomplished all of these things that I'd like to maintain and sustain. And so I understand, like, when you're saying that, I'm not looking at it like, um oh, that's old school, whatever, whatever. I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah.
I want a helpmate.
Yeah, yeah,
So
what I'm saying. So it's
so
a lot of women are unknowingly looking for wives.
yeah, and you can say it like that if you, I mean, you can definitely say it like that, but ultimately, I think that the traditional way that you view relationships has the man as the breadwinner, and the wife as the husband as the breadwinner, and the wife as the helpmate, right? I don't think that even traditional masculine men are necessarily willing to give up the benefits of the woman who has accomplished so many things that they may love in order to maintain that traditional role of final authority, and I'm running this and you here to help me, I'm not here to help you. Or I'm not here to fulfill your dreams, you're here to help me fulfill mine.
See, and you know what? And it's all good and it's cute. And I'm gonna tell you, what I'm saying. And
What's cute? What's cute?
it's good. it's cute the way that things are going and the way that people are trying to think and force things, but then you get back to but you got to realize we are human, but we are still animal. We have animalistic traits. We do animalistic. We continue to do animalistic things, like you fight and have sex, and we're gonna be animalistic. You know what I'm saying? So, and when it comes to being animalistic, always you're gonna get that male, that king of the jungle, that lion that's gonna roar louder, that's gonna go to no extreme to rule his kingdom. um and that's where the clash is going to always be, because we're not going to get past these animalistic traits that we have, these instinctive things that we have. Even though society is trying to curb it, you still, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, you are alpha male. I mean, yeah, you're alpha male, and you end up with an alpha female now. And you have the alpha female. So, and that's what I was asking you earlier about unhealthy independence. Is independence got to a point to where it's unhealthy now? Because the balance is not there no more. You know what I mean? So now you have both parents. If you got kids, both parents, they go getters. They getting it. So who raising the child now? You know what I'm saying? So so is it women having this? So women having this, and I got so much to unpack on you because we hadn't talked in a while. I got so.
That's okay, because we're not gonna cover it all in this one episode.
Hey, it's all good, but I just got so much to unpack on you.
I want to say something. Can I just make one point to what you said? You were like,
go ahead.
Both people are ambitious. So who's raising the children?
Right.
Both people. Instead of child rearing being only for the woman, it's now for both people. We both want to achieve certain things, because it's not like I got goals over here, you got goals over here. Oftentimes it's us. Like, both, if you got two ambitious people, oftentimes they're creating things together. They're going after things together. So now the responsibility doesn't fully lie on the woman to handle child rearing, because now it's more equitable, and men and women are understanding how to be, like, men are understanding how to be nurturers. Women are understanding more so how to be disciplinarians, if you want to go based on traditional gender roles. And while I don't believe that any relationship is based solely off of gender roles. I think you have men that are strong in certain areas and women that are strong in certain areas and weak in certain areas, and vice versa. I think that the important thing is that you understand that about your mate. Instead of a man looking at a woman and putting her into a box of how a woman is supposed to be, and a woman looking at a man and putting him into a box of how a man is supposed to be, you are being with an individual. Yeah. If I know, so even as an alpha woman that's ambitious, if I'm dating someone and I know that he is an alpha male and it's just going to be difficult to get through to him in this way, I have to change the way that I communicate with him and change the way that I interact with him, because that is his personality. I could date a completely different person that has a much different approach.
You could.
And he could still be masculine.
Yeah, and you might be unhappy in the long. That might not be what.
Well, it ain't about happiness or unhappy. The point that I'm making is just like we cannot look at relationships without the individual aspects of them. All men are not one way. All men are not lions and gorillas and pounding their chest and roaring, right?
Yeah, you got the beta male. Yeah, you do have the beta male. But however, you said that.
But you also might have a mature alpha male that understands that. I think I've given you this example before, between the gorilla and the lion. The gorilla walks around pounding his chest. But people are still afraid of the gorilla. People still know the gorilla's natural authority, but guess what? If you see him, he gonna pound his chest because he's a gorilla and you gonna know it. But the lion does roar, but that's not the only thing. Like the lion knows that he's the king of the jungle without his roar.
And the gorilla know his role with that. But I think the point is for me is everybody has a role, and people want to switch up their role. God played you. God put you in this movie called Life. He gave
Mm-hmm.
you a specific role. He did. He created.
Yeah.
He didn't create us the same. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
create. You know what I mean? Because if he did, it wouldn't have been no use in creating
Mm-hmm.
different people, different genders, different
Yeah,
dogs,
but
different
God
cats.
created us individually. He did not create you and every other man the exact same way. If it was
Right,
that way, it would be so much easier. We are
right. I know you did.
individuals. So my thing is
Right,
like if you need a woman that is not driven and that is not ambitious and that is just living a simple life, then you might need to find that woman. Because if a woman that's ambitious and driven cannot serve you and your needs based on what you have identified that they are, then she may not be your match.
right. She
And
may
I
not.
understand, I do understand from a biblical perspective how the marriage is defined and outlined. And I'm not saying anything against that. But what I'm saying is that I still believe that submission happens one unto another. And an alpha male and an alpha female can have a successful relationship if they are submitting one unto another. Because
Right.
he has to understand her individual needs and she has to understand his. And that's just what I believe. I think that it's an individual thing. I mean, I think it is complicated to be in a position where women are now to where well, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's complicated for relationships because I think women have evolved and men are still like what you're saying. This is how we are and this is what we want.
Now I
And women
think.
have evolved into this like, well, I'm driven and I want these things and I want this and all this list of things. And I think a lot of men are still like,
Well, I'm
I
gonna
want the
say something.
traditional
No, I'm gonna say
relationship.
no, 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 no. We're not gonna say that because now I'm gonna hit you. Like I said, I'm finna hit you with one. I'm finna hit you with one, and it's gonna be controversial. I don't think that the man is like, no, 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 we can't. I think that women can't handle in some instances that the respect and the responsibility that they get, like how they want to pick and choose when they want to handle it. And I'm saying this because I'm gonna say just like a person who never had nothing in life, he never had nothing. Then all of a sudden they hit the lottery, they get $10 million. Now, either they finna kill themselves moment or they gonna be broke in a couple of years. They're not gonna, cause they weren't used to that. They didn't know how to manage that. They didn't have enough time to learn how to manage it. There wasn't enough time management to learn how to manage that load of responsibility. Now, women are getting out these things. Now we're not talking about the mid 90s and whatnot. We're talking about like now where it's an abundance of women getting money, getting in position, they getting power positions, um, and then so learning to manage what they have now. So a lot of women are abuse. They more abusive now because they don't because they hadn't had time to manage this for a long period of time. Now I think the women that's coming behind this wave of women like your daughter or whatnot, they'll grow up in it, so they'll have a better concept of how to manage themselves without overstepping certain bounds. But some women now, because of they have accomplished the things that women have accomplished, is that it has made a very toxic environment for men.
Okay. So women have created a toxic environment for men.
Yeah, I think in some cases, I say in some cases that because we talking about because they have a power, they have a control over things that most women has never had. That's like I said, like a person who never had nothing. So you
So you
talking
saying
about
women are abusing this power that they have now been given,
yeah, because it's
which
new,
is
they don't
creating a
understand
toxic environment for men.
the toxic environment. Yeah, make a toxic environment. Yes, because they don't understand it yet. It's not enough of them that understand it yet. That's not like Oprah and Michelle and whatnot, and they grew until they rose to success. But you're talking about the 25-year-old woman that's coming from a single mother background that the mom really couldn't pour into her and teach her how to understand her emotions and whatnot. And then she's getting out here and she's figuring it out. And this social media, this Instagram, this Facebook, this YouTube, and these things, and that they have to get these streams of income and be independent. And don't they not only do they not need a man, they don't need mama and daddy. So can't so so and they are taking on this masculinity. So
Mm-hmm.
when you meet, so it's like what I'm saying. It's not like the lion meeting, the lioness. It's like the lion meeting the gorilla. It's like they done switched. Like the woman is the gorilla now. The woman beating on their chest. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand the power yet. They hadn't learned how to manage it yet. Like a lot of women hadn't matured to a spot with this power to manage it yet. You know what I'm saying? Man been responsible for holding it down. We've been responsible. We've been responsible for being a provider. Women haven't always been responsible for being a provider.
listen, listen. Y'all have fumbled the ball. Like, if you look at the country, if you look at the world, and men being in control, if you see the damage of patriarchy, like the utter damage that has been created in this world, and especially against women, like, it's just so ridiculous to say women don't know what to do with this power and they've created a toxic environment for men when we have grown up in toxicity because of
Oh.
men not knowing what to do with their power, because
Mm-mm.
of men not protecting women, because of men not
Hmm.
creating a space for us to feel safe in order
Hmm.
to be feminine and in order to be um to be gentle and all of these different things. If we left it up to y'all,
That's who it's up to.
if we left it up to y'all, all of us would be in bad situations. If you want to use a blanketed generalizations, I don't truly believe that. I don't truly believe that in generalizations in the sense that, like, because I don't believe that all men are bad. But I can say that patriarchy is a thing. It's a real thing. And it's something that has really left me, even as a woman, feeling like, who can you trust and who is going to do the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, it's
Hmm.
so interesting that it's so interesting that we having this discussion. I want to say this because I respect you, and even though you say some
Likewise.
stuff sometimes that is very outlandish, I still have a lot of respect for you and your opinions, even when I don't agree with them. There's one person that I don't think um who says crazy to me, outlandish stuff that doesn't always garner respect from the people who are in opposition to his perspectives. And I think we haven't talked about that. That is like a current event, especially as it
Mm.
relates to talking about relationships. And it's like last Friday, we all learned, and the world was the black world and the social media world was paused, waiting to hear and confirm whether or not Kevin Samuels had passed away. And
Well,
so it
you're
was
right.
confirmed Friday afternoon. And once it was confirmed, before it was confirmed, I mean, the speculation alone was just sad. You know, hearing all of these different perspectives coming out, people were like, some people were like, um, you know, I don't care that he died. He didn't mean nothing to me. Good riddance. Some people were, oh man, we lost a legend. People were comparing him to Malcolm X. Like, I can't even tell you. I was just reading comments and I kept my mouth closed. But I think I mean, our conversation alone and the toxicity that women have created for men and even just discussing that really just to me is a great opportunity for us to talk about controversial topics,
Right.
especially as it relates to Black people and Black love. And Samuels was kind of the leader of that new movement. Now, like, the irony of his death is not lost on me. I did not follow him. I did not watch any of his videos. The only thing I saw is what people shared, and then I also click off of that because I didn't need that type of negativity in my life. But like, people flocked to his channels. They flocked to his channels. They wanted his perspectives. People let him pass judgment on them and critique them and so forth and so on. And in his death, you heard how people really, I mean, in his even expected death, you heard how people really felt about him. And so, but those that didn't care about his life, they didn't, like, they didn't mince words. They said exactly how they felt, and that was, to me, one of the harshest things to think about, like leaving that being part of your legacy, that people would speak so harshly on you. Um, and
You know,
so,
I
well,
would say at
the
least they
one thing
speaking on.
I wanted to point out one thing is that one of the most controversial things that you'll see in every article written is that most recently he proclaimed that women over 35 who were unmarried, especially those with kids, were leftovers. And I think people, that's what left people with the worst taste in their mouth, and especially women. But I feel like you followed him.
No, well, I
You knew
think
more.
that's
You
it.
knew more of the good and the bad. So,
Right. Well, I didn't follow him in the aspect of what he
not
was doing in
follow him like
relationship.
you
Right.
not
But you know
followed
what
him
I'm
like you
saying?
were a follower of him, but you
But,
listened to some of his
right.
commentary at
Yeah,
times.
right. You the same
Hmm.
way I listen to Shannon Sharp and Skip. The same way I listen to the
Hmm.
other ones that do their thing and that have found a successful way to do their thing.
Hmm.
And that was my guru brother. I didn't even know people referred to him as a relationship guru until he passed. So,
I
respectively,
think it was just a lack of better words. I don't
right.
think that.
So, right. So I never heard it before,
Hmm.
but I heard about it. People call me and say, Big Goo, is just you left. You the only guru. I said the guru. I said I didn't know it was another guru out there, a relationship guru out there. But if it's him, I can accept it because I understand what he was trying to do. He was saying, hey, you won't demasculize man. And
Hmm.
so, and when you brought mention to me today about my comedy brother, LeVar Walker, he had that's you said he's Catholic and whatnot, and they was
Hmm.
Catholic, and the pastor, what's the pastor name? Um, what was
Dr.
that pastor?
Pastor Jamal Bryant.
Yeah, yeah, Jamal Bryant said whatever he said, and yes, I agree with LeVar Walker that Jamal Bryant he clout chasing, and I definitely wouldn't want to use my platform or this platform to say to try to get views off of this man's life and his legacy because I feel like I'm man enough to build my own legacy. But however, I do want to, just say, like, hey, he was smart at what he did. That's all I really want to say. He was smart at what he did. He knew how to move the
Hmm.
needle. He knew what things to be that could be said, and that takes a science. So it's something as simple as if you're over 35 and you not married, and you got kids, you like a leftover woman, like something that simple to say a statement to have enough enough wherewithal to say a statement that's gonna get that much buzz
Hmm.
and knew how to deliver the statement. So I wouldn't really so I'm not a fan of what he said. I'm not but I'm just saying I'm a fan of the fact that he knew how to move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of us are doing that's podcasting now. We're trying to figure out how do we move the needle. What's going to get
Mm-hmm.
people to flock to our page? What's going to get our viewers up? What's going to? And he said a while ago, if I was to start talking in a negative way about women, my views will go up. Then he said,
Mm-hmm.
and he had proved his point. So, if you so then another thing, then I'm done with this. People say they don't listen to him, don't know nothing about him, but all of a sudden but if nobody was listening to him and nobody knew nothing about him, why everybody mad?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody listen. So how are you not listening to him? How are you not? You know what I'm saying? No matter if you didn't like Kevin, he still made it into your house. He still made it into a household name. He still, whether you looked at him, your friend looked at him, somebody mentioned him to him, he made it in your
Mm-hmm.
house, he made it in your car, he made it on your phone, he made it on your tablet. You know, hey, salute to success. Salute to getting inside of doors. Salute into getting inside of homes. Salute to him. You know, salute. He figured
Mm-hmm.
it out. He figured out how to move the needle. Now, you ain't got to like the way he did it, but he did it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if that's it, you know what? I don't praise people based on things like that. Like just because you are immoral and you decide to do things that are, and I'm not talking about him. I'm just saying, if you're doing things that are immoral in an effort to move the needle, I don't have respect for that. I don't care about you moving the needle. I care about the type of person that you are or the impact that you're having. So it's like if the words that are like if the legacy that you're leaving is tearing black people apart and it's damaging to our views of each other and ourselves, I don't put you on a pedestal because you were able to get this shock value. And you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like if that's the legacy that you want to leave, feel free. But I don't believe that we should always um idolize that type of behavior. Like if you spewing hatred and you spewing negativity, but because you're getting views on it, then we put you on a pedestal.
No, I don't. But you know, but who said so? Who said he was built like that? You
I
know, but
did. You know
that's an
what? I didn't.
opinion.
He didn't make it into my car and my home and all of those places he made it into other people's. I literally did not even speak this man's name until last week. I never was bringing up to nobody. Did you hear about what he said? No, I wasn't. I could care less. I mean, I really could care less now. I just think it's relevant. I
You
mean,
know,
I feel for anybody that's passing. I feel for them. I hate that. I
I feel
hate
for his
for him
mom,
to. Right, and I mean I feel for him that being
and
the
she
last
found out on social media. Could
yeah.
you
And I mean
imagine?
first of all, it begs the question about their relationship and whether the reason that he was so nasty towards black women is because of his relationship with his own mother. Like you have to wonder because it clearly seems like when the little bit that I've learned about him seemed like he seriously had a lot of hate in his heart towards black women.
So, but we definitely gonna
I'm
have to
just
talk
not
offline
impressed.
one day. Well, we definitely gonna have to talk offline one day about what you found out, about what you found out, or you know, um, because it's not about like you said, because I know how you don't like to make the show about one particular thing or one particular person.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but I still wanna like a person can show you a lot of what not to do. Like
Mm-hmm.
knowing what not to do is just as good as knowing what to do in some cases. So, you know, uh, was he an example? Yes. Now, for to who I don't know, but to example, like cause you know what not to do. I know not now that I know it. Like I even when I started studying certain things, like the difference between me and him, and me as the guru, I had enough wherewithal to say from jump, I'm gonna have a strong female with me. So no matter what I say, I have a female that can combat it right then, and
Mm-hmm.
they can see the respect that I have for female because I understood. You know, I
Woman.
understood. Yeah, well, I understood that, you can get the Mr. tag. You know, you can be Mr. Off of Color Purple. They'll put the Mr. tag on you. So that's what they were trying to do to him. That's what they trying to do to him now. They trying to put the Mr. tag on. Like
At least,
it's
at least Mister is a character in the movie.
yeah, but that's what he was playing, a character. He was a character. He developed a character. That wasn't him. That wasn't the real Kevin Samuel. He was his fault. He used his own
Did you
name.
know him?
I studied his work.
The reason why I say that is because the way that he died is very ironic. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, like it is not lost on me. Like I don't know him from a can of, what do they say? I don't know him from a can of worms, a can of paint. Yeah, I don't know him from a can of paint. But the one thing that I know is that the way that he touted himself and the way that he touted men and their worth, right? And I believe black men are worth a lot. I don't diminish black men, and like I'm very careful with my critique of black men. So I'm not one of those people that's like a man hater. So, but the way that he talked about these high value men and all of this stuff, and okay, great. But I'm not lost on the fact that he was alone, and the person that he died with was someone he didn't even know. So it's like, maybe he was playing a character. Maybe he was playing a character because he could have very well been just as lonely as the leftover women that are 35 and up.
Yeah.
And
he put it so yeah, he could have been. He died, and he died in a way. I feel sorry for his mom. Had to find out the way that he died. And it is ironic, and it's gonna be but I think that's gonna make part of the ironicness and the way he died gonna make his story legendary. Like if he wouldn't have died the way that he died, or even if he would have died in a car crash, or he would have died in a plane wreck, in a plane crash, people would have said, as soon as I saw him, I wouldn't have got on that plane. I knew it was going down. You know what I'm saying? People say anything. So, but what we talking about a person, did he heal people though? You know what I'm saying? Because off the camera now, we get off now. This is our job. This is what we do. We in the media now, so this is what we do. This is our job. And when we portray a personality, you know what I'm saying? We are radio personality, media personality now. As soon as we start doing the podcast, we are media personality. Now I'm very encouraging now. Real talk, facts. I'm one of the most encouraging men that a lot of women are. Now, if you give me one-on-one conversation, we on the phone, or we having a toast, or whatever we doing, we one-on-one, we talking, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna encourage, you know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid of a woman being what she was put on this earth to be, and that's to be excellence. I'm not afraid of black excellence. I'm not afraid of a woman walking in her role and walking in, her light. I'm not afraid of that, so I encourage that. So, but when I'm doing my job here, I have to stand up for what the male may think, the average male. So we were dealing with the average male, and now if Kevin would have came out and said, "Hey, you know what? The average man thinks this way." The average man. We're not talking about the exceptional man. We're not talking about, we're not talking about the godly man, We're not talking about, these other. We're talking about the average man thinks this way. The average man thinks if a woman is over 35 and got kids, like, something must be wrong with her. I mean, and truth be told, men are told that from early age, other men, that they don't have these conversations around women. So he said something that 80% of men was told or thought. Anyway, he said it. He said it, and he knew it would move the needle. But but now that we shedded light on it, is that really true? No, they're not left over. I got, it's some people go through bad things, they go through rough times, and sometimes then some people just merely taking their time because they know their value, they know their worth. Not that they left over,
Yeah.
But he shed light on something that was tough. It was an uncomfortable statement, and and he was good at. My whole point is the man was just good at what he do. I don't think he
You
was a terrible person.
and I don't care. I mean, I don't care. I don't know him personally. I know that what he represented was a terrible thing. That's what I'll say.
Okay,
What he put out there publicly for me to consume was not representative of a person who cared about black men nor women.
people still don't like Danny Glover.
I love Danny Glover.
People still don't.
The
How he
color
played
purple did
Mister.
not. The color. I don't like Mister. But I love Danny Glover.
Okay.
So, but let me say this. Let me say this. Any like, if I, as a black woman, am responsible for educating myself enough to know the complexities that impact black people, and especially our love relationships, black men too are accountable for understanding those complexities. If we continue to blame each other and not understand the root cause of why we're in the situation, like you don't hear how many episodes of Joe Rogan's podcast have been diminishing white women.
Who? Joe Osteen?
Joe Rogan, the controversial podcaster, whatever he is. How many episodes of his podcast have been diminishing white women?
I couldn't tell you.
Probably none. Because you ain't heard it. It ain't if he did a podcast diminishing white women and talking about all of the negative things about white women, trust me, you would have heard about it. So what I'm saying is that we have to protect each other in a way. And I just have to, I mean, not every conversation is meant to be publicly had. If I see something in you, Big Goo, that I feel like is not representative of what I think your best self is, and you're my friend, I will pull you to the side and say, Goo, what you doing right now ain't really it. Because it's like this and it's like that. I still feel the same way about black men as a whole. Even the conversations that you and I have where I may be most controversial are not going to take place in a public forum.
Right.
They're going to take place behind closed door where I can say how I feel and be vulnerable and tell you, and you can say, look, Des, it ain't like this or whatever. Right. But publicly, I'm not going to disparage black men and cut them down and talk ill of them in such a way that week after week after week, it is conducive to nothing. And I don't regard that. And I think that us, as podcasters and as hosts, we still have to have integrity. And if you don't have integrity, you don't have, no, first of all, you don't have to have integrity. But what you have to do is be prepared for other people to judge you accordingly, right?
Yeah.
Your opinions will also be met with other opinions. And so many people are in such an uproar because no one really regarded, people who didn't like him didn't regard his death with any type of compassion. And that's their choice. Because he didn't regard people's life in any type of compassion. He didn't have compassion on his guests that he ripped to shreds. And so, and then
he
you
did
get that
men
in
the
return.
same way, though. He did men the same way.
I said yes.
Yeah,
and there are some men who didn't like him either.
Right, and there's some people that don't like Big Goo.
Right, but what I'm saying is that you got to be prepared. If that is what you choose, if you choose to create an image of yourself in order to gain views and gain attention and gain wealth, then you got to be prepared for the aftermath of that. And that's just what it is. I mean, and like the one thing I want to say as we like kind of close out, because we didn't plan on spending so much time on Kevin Samuels, but this is really just something that I think a lot of people have talked about, and it is what it is. But he's not the only person who had divisive commentary out there. Like I just recently saw a video of a woman going viral because she was like, you know what, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. There are not enough eligible black men for black women who are growing at this exponential rate.
She crazy.
that because Black women are becoming more educated and they are creating more wealth and they're doing all of these things. So
Yeah.
what she's saying is, the truth be told, if we are continuing to date Black men only, there's not enough eligible Black men to meet our needs.
Oh. Well, and that's what I'm saying. See, this
I'm just
toxic
giving you.
thing.
I'm not even trying to. I'm not even trying to create a discussion point. I'm
It,
telling you, like, these are things that women are saying, right? There's a guy. I'm not gonna. I can't even remember his name. But he's another relationship guru. And he just launched a book and launched a
oh,
whole
there's some more
campaign
relationship gurus
to.
out here?
Oh, it's so many. I can send you a
I
list.
thought I was the only
Um,
one.
it's a. You are the relationship guru, but there are people who fall under that category who are self-proclaimed, and it's another dude that's like, but his target audience is all women, and he's like, I don't know his dirt, but I just know he be real Devin. What's the dude's name? Derek Jackson ish. And he just launched a book, and his website and his hashtag is hashtag he's lying sis. He's lyingsis.com. So he wrote a whole book so the women could identify the promises the men are making that are untrue. And I feel like what?
Hey, Steve Harvey wrote his book Think Like a Man. Kevin Samuel, like he didn't have
We
a
off
D
of
Love
him.
Jones
We
for,
off of him.
but he didn't
No.
have D Love Jones for his protection. Now he would have put you next to him,
Oh, please.
wouldn't have been no issue. Cause
We
I
wouldn't
can
have made it
say
far. Because I'm leftovers.
no.
I want too much. Because let me tell you, the one thing that he said that really spoke to me was, he said, all of these women that want to try to achieve all of these things are making themselves less eligible for a man. So in one token, he said high value men want this, this, and this, and then on the flip side of that, he said, but all of you women that are trying to achieve all of these things are gonna be manless because men don't want a woman that got everything.
Yeah.
They
Well, you
want a
know what?
woman that needs them.
I want, I want a woman that believes in me. I want, I don't want to be outmanned by no woman. If you're more man than me, if I can't manage you, you know, men have to manage, and you only can manage what is manageable. So the first three letters in manage is man. That's man' ultimate job. Man have to manage and guide. That's the main thing. Man supposed to be able to manage. The first thing a man's supposed to be able to provide is guidance. That's the main thing. If you're with a man and he can't provide guidance, not finances, not food, not a roof over, but if he can't provide guidance, and that means mentally, spiritually, emotionally, he can't provide guidance. And most women now don't want to be guided, period. So it causing a conflict. So, like I said, now our platform between me and you, we talk about things in the effort of people healing and understanding, okay, we got to get, somehow we're going to have to get to a common ground because we're going to have to continue to coexist because black men can't run off and be with a bunch of white women, and black women can't run off and be with a bunch of white men or whatever because we have to protect our race. You know, you see red birds with red birds. You see bluebirds with bluebirds. You see turtles with turtles. Now you see some odd matches here and there, but for the most part, we got to match up with our own, and we got to get away from this foolishness of all this toxic, if you want to get rid of, one toxic, let's get rid of all toxic. See, statements like that, there's no eligible black man, or statements like you are leftover, like statements that's not doing the community and doing us any good. We have to quit believing. I mean, this, like I said, these are just needle moving points that people are making. They are not to live by points. This is we have to understand there's a fine line between reality and entertainment. And you got those people that know how to flirt right on it to where you can't, and when you can't make it clear enough to yourself, you sit there and you engage in it, and you can end up on the wrong side of that if you don't understand. It's a fine line between entertainment and reality. And so,
So, Bigu, we only got a few seconds left, and I want to close out to really, like, we don't really do this often. I want to close out, and I want to ask our listeners to give us feedback. Like, our goal in this show is to make love great again, right?
right,
And the question that we have to all ask ourselves is, like, in our effort to make love great again, especially for Black people, does that require us to have a harsh reality check and to eliminate things that are divisive and that are not conducive to us growing and loving and healing and becoming closer? Because it isn't just about Black people being with Black people for the sake of that's the way it's supposed to be. There's economic value for our communities, for us to align with each other, to work together, and to grow. And if we're going to do that and we're going to improve the outcomes for ourselves, where do we draw the line? And I think it's up to us. I think it's up to everyone out there to know where the line should be drawn in an effort to protect Black love and to empower Black people to continue loving each other in a powerful way.
yeah, I agree. So, what was the question?
The question is, where should the line be drawn? Should we draw a line among each other and say we won't empower people, we won't elevate people's profile, they're not going to get our views, they're not going to get our dollars or nothing if they are creating and doing things that are divisive for Black people and not conducive to us being able to grow and love each other and really be able to repair our communities?
So we're in a council culture, people. So she asking you, should we counsel people that seem to be dividing us?
Not cancel. Should we participate in that dialogue? Should we promote them? Should we give them our attention, our dollars, our viewership, all of those things that pour into somebody's pocket?
Right.
Should we be empowering these people if they're not doing anything good for the cause?
Right. So if you're not going to empower them, you counseling them. They over with.
Nah,
You're not
I'm not
participating.
saying right. Okay.
If you're not participating, you're not going, not spending no money with them, you're not promoting them, you're not sharing their stuff, you're not engaging with them. You know what I'm saying? You just counsel. They just we not gonna subscribe to them no more. They unsubscribe. So
we gotta be aligned on that.
Right. So speaking of unsubscribe, y'all go and like and subscribe to this channel.
Right.
Y'all go like and subscribe. Right. Find a date, find a mate. Let's make love great again. Hey man, look, this sparring match was definitely overdue. Overdue. You know, I can't wait to put the gloves on again and get in the ring with you and that's what's gonna that's the reason why we can't lose, because I think that we're on the right track of showing people how to effectively communicate, and even when you do have a difference of opinion, and how to keep the respect where it should be. And I think that we are doing a great job at, being an example of that. And so our views are going to take a while to get up. Our participants, but they're going to catch on though. But now if I was strictly woman bashing and you were strictly male bashing, just like it was said by someone before, our numbers will be through the roof right now. But because we are doing it the right way and we're showing respect to each other, and which that's what we're here for, to show people that respect can happen. You don't have to think exactly alike to respect someone, and that's in any relationship. Whether it's your professional relationship or it's your personal relationship. You know, you do not have to think the same way. You just have to be willing to respect another person's point of view.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a great comeback.
Right.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you hearing me. And I enjoy hearing your perspective. And I know ultimately it will make us both better.
Oh, yes, man.
And it make our people better and our communities better. And that's the goal.
Yes, man. I've been practicing. I've been practicing. Like, I've been doing my research. I've been practicing. People, hey, until next time, we out.
All right.
Hey, Al Green said the best. Love will make you do right. Love will make you do wrong. Love will make you come home early. Love will make you do what?
Stay
all night long.